There is the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, where it's always 70 to 72 degrees in New Orleans, and where the Saints were 8-0 this season, 3-5 on the road. Here they are tonight, 25 degrees, feels like 19, partly cloudy, no threat of precipitation, and a very light breeze as we go down to the field and check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, while the Eagles have all their starters healthy for tonight, the Saints are without running back Pierre Thomas, out with a rib injury. And while they're deep at that position, the loss of Thomas is significant. He led the team in rushing, led all NFL running backs in catches, and was key in third down pass protection. And speaking of pass protection, the Saints are starting a rookie at left tackle. Teron Armstead is making just his third NFL start, all in the last 3 weeks, and he'll be blocking 9-year veteran Trent Cole, who's registered 7 sacks in the last 6 games. Now, Sean Payton told us, "I like that matchup, with all due respect to Trent Cole." Payton hinted that Cole might not be the force he was 4 or 5 years ago. When I asked Cole about the rookie, he said he still has that new car smell. I asked if he expected the Saints to give Armstead help, and he said, "They better." Al, he told me he'll be showing, and I quote, "no mercy."
I'll bet. Thank you, Michelle. There is Armstead, the rookie. There is Sean Payton. Regular season at home, terrific postseason, perfect 4-0. Pretty good regular season on the road. The Saints aren't that bad away from home, as you can see by their regular season mark, but you get them on the road in the playoffs, it's been a different story, and a lot of it's had to do with a very leaky defense. They've been scoring a lot of points. Chip Kelly was the head coach at the University of Oregon, came in here, turned 50 years old a couple of months ago, had no NFL playing or coaching experience, but he has taken this town by storm with a 10-win season, 7 of the last 8. Cutting edge offense, sports science, and all the rest. We'll talk about it during the game. And right now he has won the toss and has deferred. Philadelphia to kick off, and Darren Sproles to run it back. And we'll see a little bit more of Sproles tonight in the absence of Pierre Thomas. Towels waving, Lincoln Financial Field in South Philadelphia on this chilly Saturday night. And what are we going to do for an encore after that Indianapolis Kansas City game?
Just when you think you've seen it all, then come in here and get a little Chip Kelly against Sean Payton, 2 great play callers. It's a great Saturday.
Alex Henry to put it in the air, and away we go from Philly. 8-yard line. Sproles takes it there, coming straight up the middle, brings the ball back out to the 27-yard line. And let's take a look at the Saints starters.
Drew Brees, Purdue Boilermaker.
Mark Ingram, the University of Alabama.
Jedediah Gabriel Collins, Washington State.
Marcus Colston, Hofstra University.
Kenny Stills, University of Oklahoma.
Jimmy Graham, the U.
Teron Armstead, Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Ben Grubbs, Auburn University.
Brian Della Puente, Cal Berkeley.
Jari Evans, Bloomsburg University.
Zach Strief, Northwestern.
2 Pro Bowlers up front and a former Heisman Trophy winner. Ingram is the running back. And there goes Ingram to the outside, and Ingram starts with a big run, a first down run on their opening play, forced out at the 44-yard line by Patrick Chung. It's a gain of 17.
Tried a little stunt right off the bat and kind of got caught with it and tried to come this way and just ended up getting pinned inside by Ben Watson and Zach Strief. And for Mark Ingram, a good start there, especially now without Pierre Thomas in the lineup.
Now Sproles comes in. They do a lot of shifting of personnel, unlike Philadelphia. A little swing pass to Sproles on the outside, and Sproles takes it to the 49-yard line where D'Amico Ryans makes the tackle. Brees, a 5-3 record as a Saints starting quarterback in postseason. Before that, he was in postseason action with San Diego. Another phenomenal season for Brees. 3 straight years of 5,000 or more passing yards, and he's done it 4 times in his career. 2nd and 5. Ingram is back in the game. They give it to him, and Ingram backs his way for a first down to the 45-yard line. Let's take a look at the Philadelphia defensive starters.
Cedric Thornton, Southern Arkansas University.
Benny Logan, Louisiana State University.
Fletcher Cox, Mississippi State.
Connor Barwin, Cincinnati.
D'Amico Ryans, Roll Tide.
Michael Kendricks,
Cal.
Trent Cole, Cincinnati.
Bradley Fletcher, Iowa.
Nate Allen, South Florida.
Patrick Chung, the Ducks.
Kerry Williams, Washburn.
Eagles defense lining up to face Breeze and company from the 45-yard line. Play action, buys time, and then the pass is incomplete. Trent Cole was out there covering on the play. Benjamin Watson, the tight end, the intended receiver, 2nd and 10.
I have to say this is what I'd be doing defensively as well. Anytime Trent Cole dropped back in the passing game as a drop linebacker, I would go right at him. But Trent Cole has really developed in this defense. Of course, made the move from 4-3 to 3-4, and he's always just been a pass rusher, showing a little versatility on that one.
Empty backfield, going 5 wide on 2nd and 10. It's only a 3-man rush, and Breeze guns it down the sideline and a little short and incomplete. Intended for Sproles. That was Connor Barwin who was chasing him downfield. Sproles had him beaten, but the pass was underthrown. 3rd and 10.
Well, the big matchup we'll be watching on the outside. Teron Armstead here gets a first-round win against Trent Cole, but that ball was really underthrown by Drew Brees. I mean, he had Sproles open and had gotten behind Connor Barwin and just underthrew it. Missed opportunity.
He knew he had the matchup he wanted and couldn't cash in. 3rd and 10. Ingram back in the backfield. Play clock at 1. And Breeze is going to try to get a timeout, and he does get it. They give it to him before a delay of game. So it's 3rd down and 10. The Saints use a lot of early timeouts. It's something that doesn't bother Peyton and a lot of coaches. It's not like the second half. They can be used very early in the first half, and Sean uses them. Bill Vinovich is the referee.
There's no charge timeout, as there was debris on the field that we had to clear.
It looked like Breeze was throwing something away. I couldn't tell, was there a towel or what?
Yeah, right back to the umpire. You could see him reach over, and I think at that point he kind of lost track of the play clock, and when he looked up it said 1. There's Breeze right there, and he's going to go up and
tape
or one of those. Who knows what that is?
It's tape from somebody, and there's Breeze picking it up, flipping it away. So Vinovich comes in to say there is no charge timeout. It's going to reset the play clock at 25 seconds and make it 3rd down and 10.
Well, now in most of these situations, it's a combination Jimmy Graham, Darren Sproles. You double them, though, and the likes of Marcus Colston, we see so many different times. Drew Brees, when things are on the line, those are kind of his big 3.
Bunch 3 receivers to the left. Ingram's in the backfield. Breeze with time, fires over the middle, caught. Kenny Stills can take it to the 37, so he's going to be a little short of the first down. Stills, 5th-round draft choice rookie out of Oklahoma, so it's going to be 4th down and 2.
Well, you're going to see Connor Barwin come in here after Jimmy Graham and just completely mess up that end of the route as they double cover him. They want Drew Brees to have to go the other side of the field, to look left, go right, or look right and go left. And now already big plays in this game.
Well, right now they're going to pass up an opportunity at about a 55-yard field goal. They changed kickers a couple of weeks ago, Shane Graham, and they will at least line up to go for it on 4th and 2 from the 37. And Breeze may have gotten them to jump. You have 4 flags on the field. 4.
False start. Offense coming down. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
That's Breeze trying to draw Philly offside, and now they'll send in the punting group.
Well, Drew Brees made a little flinch and then a big flinch. They got called for the little flinch. Watch right, that one. Yeah, as soon as that shoulder came out of there, that's what they called, and that changed everything. You don't know whether they were going to ultimately go for that or not, or just try to draw him offside, so it may really not have changed anything here.
Here's Morstead to do the punting to Sean Jackson. who can be electrifying as a punt returner, will call for a fair catch on a short kick. There is Foles, who led the league in passer rating, took over halfway through the season when Michael Vick got hurt. Sean McCoy led the league in rushing in the backfield with him. To the air on first down. To the outside, the pass is too tall for Jackson. So Foles, a rookie last year, picked in the 3rd round out of Arizona, saw some action. Again, Philadelphia does not huddle. Doesn't mean that they run a hurry up all of the time, but there's no huddling. Very often they'll take a lot of time. They run a play about every 24 seconds, which was the fastest pace in the league this year. 2nd and 10. Here's McCoy looking for room over the left side up to the 19-yard line. So McCoy leading the league in rushing, breaking numerous Philadelphia rushing records along the way. 5th year, 2nd round draft choice out of the University of Pittsburgh, and this offense fits him to a T. Not only on the ground, but they throw a lot of swing passes to him, and he's been phenomenal on both ends. 3rd and 7.
Deshaun Jackson in the backfield now with LaShawn McCoy.
McCoy goes in motion. Jackson flares out. Foles guns it over the middle. Caught. And that's Zach Ertz. They love to go to their tight ends. In particular, Ertz is the backup tight end, the better receiver. Brent Selleck, of course, will catch a lot of balls as well, as Dallas knows all too well.
Go motion out there. Nick Foles goes that way. And one of the things the Saints were talking about defensively is don't be fooled. They're trying to get you to look one way and come back. You saw an example right there.
And they give the ball to McCoy over the left side. Let's take a look at the Philadelphia starters.
Nick Foles, Arizona.
LaShawn McCoy,
Pitt Panthers.
Deshaun Jackson, California.
Riley Cooper, Florida.
Jason Avant, Carver Military Academy.
Brent Selleck, Cincinnati.
Jason Peters, Arkansas.
Evan Mathis, Alabama.
Jason Kelsey, Cincinnati.
Todd Herman, Saginaw Valley.
Lane Johnson, Oklahoma.
Lane Johnson, rookie, starting every game this season. #1 pick. On a roll to the right. The pass is caught by Jason Avant, but read perfectly by Keenan Lewis, who's been a tremendous pickup for the Saints. Played with Pittsburgh, wanted to come to New Orleans because he was going home.
Yeah, he has been the really major difference maker in this secondary. There's just no question about it. They also had Kenny Vaccaro back there, who, in my opinion, was the best rookie that played this year on the defensive side. Lost him to an injury, but definitely an upgrade on this defense over what we saw a year ago.
And lost the cornerback Jabari Greer to injury about a month and a half ago, and there's miscommunication there as McCoy had come out of the backfield but did not turn around, and it's 4th down for the Eagles.
Well, there's the quarterback of the defense right there, Curtis Lofton, and he basically has the right to audible to anything he sees out there. He is the Peyton Manning of the defensive side of the play. He said every once in a while I make a bad call and they hit a big play, and Sean Payton gives me one of those ugly eyes kind of looks out there, but he's the guy that can audible right along with this offense.
Donnie Jones, veteran punter. He's done a great job, though, for the team this year. This is a line drive kick, and that will look pretty good on the stat sheet, even though it wasn't very far in the air. On first down, it's a 4-yard gain for Kerry Robinson, who is a rookie out of West Texas A&M. So a lot of action last week, but another guy they can go to with Thomas out. You got Sproles, you got Ingram, Jed Collins, the fullback, will get a couple of carries, and then you've got Robinson.
Yeah, and Sean Payton telling us is the only thing that keeps Kyrie Robinson from being great is me. I just haven't played him enough, but now because of the injury to Pierre Thomas, he's going to have to play tonight.
2nd down and 6 with the ball at the 18-yard line. Breeze, a couple of fakes, and then the pass is incomplete. Mark Ingram off his fingertips. 3rd down and 6. Well, we've had the Eagles now 3 weeks in a row on Sunday night, and of course Saturday night, the wild card here. Last 3 games, 3 sacks, 2 picks, 2 forced fumbles.
He's one of those rare inside linebackers that is as good at blitzing as he is in coverage, and sometimes they just have a hard time figuring out which one they want him to do. Drew Brees said, "I'd prefer to see him off the field. That's where I'd prefer to see him."
3rd down and 6. Brees stepping up in the pocket. The pass is a little bit low. It's caught by Ingram, but he can't go any farther than the 21-yard line. And the Saints will punt for the 2nd time.
Aaron Armstead really doing his job. Got a little squeeze on him this time, Trent Cole did. But really right now they are forcing the ball out quickly, are the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's been the difference. If Drew Brees can stand there and look around for a while, he's almost impossible to stop. Just enough pressure thus far.
Thomas Morstead, been with the Saints since 09. Coming up to let the ball bounce out of bounds near midfield. It's a 3-yard pickup for Foles, taking the ball to the 50-yard line where Cam Jordan makes the stop.
Well, obviously not Mike Vick reading that zone readout, but just enough to keep the defense honest.
Oh, stuffed in the backfield. That's McCoy with Jordan right there again, and that'll make it 3rd down and long.
There's Cam Jordan and Junior Gillette kind of meet in the backfield and had a little Sean McCoy sandwich on that one. And I'll tell you, if you want to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, you better contain that running game, because if they get both ends of this thing going, the Chicago Bears found out, there's no stopping them.
Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints, taking a team that was horrendous last year, setting all kinds of records for futility, into the top echelon of the league defensively, as McCoy is allowed to get a short gain. And there's Ryan on the sideline. Rob Ryan, it's a funny thing. He's been an assistant coach for a long time. He has been in postseason play, but as a defensive coordinator, this is his 10th season as a defensive coordinator. The first time he's been to the playoffs in that role.
Of course, he has a little history here in Philadelphia as well. Papa was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time.
Donnie Jones punt, and it will be collected. And going into the end zone was Boykin. He had it for the moment. He couldn't control it, and then he went into the end zone and knew that if he was in the end zone,
they kicked it in.
Yep. The ball would have to come to the 20, which is what it's going to do right now.
Ron Carmichael kicked it in.
Yep. Well, this game has started with 4 punts in the first 8 minutes, 2 for each team. Brees starts from the 20-yard line and gives the ball to Ingram. Ingram won the Heisman Trophy at Alabama as a sophomore. Jimmy Graham is going to play a key role tonight, all things considered. So let's take a look here.
Well, not if the Philadelphia Eagles have anything to do with it. They are knocking him around pretty good already, and it has been effective for them. That's what happens when you come out and play tight end and score 16 touchdowns on the season, just 1 off of Rob Gronkowski's record.
Foot injury, plantar fasciitis, hobbling him all season, but he's still able to lead the league, as Chris said, with 16 touchdown receptions. Tremendous year. 2nd down and 3 from the 27-yard line. And this will be Ingram over the right side, plowing his way for a first down. Tackled there by Damian Square.
Well, of course, the one way to start to open up passing lanes down the field is to run the football. And Mark Ingram is one of those guys. He's really had 2 big games this entire season. He had 145 against the Cowboys. We saw that, 83 yards against the Panthers. And that's 59% of the total yards he's had for the season. But a big opportunity for him here tonight.
Sproles lines up at running back. He also has a fullback in the game in Jed Collins from the 30-yard line. Brees with time over the middle, and there is Jimmy Graham making his first catch of the night into Philadelphia territory to the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 21, tackled by Kerry Williams.
Well, they get no hit on him this time, and there's a safety in the middle of the field. Trent Cole decides to go after the pass rush, and you really can't do that to Jimmy Graham, especially if you're just going to play one deep. Those seam routes just eat you up against this Saints offense, and so they're going to have to continue to hit Jimmy Graham if they're going to win here.
Number 49. Ton of time. Breeze going deep, adjusting, and then it's intercepted by Bradley Fletcher. Fletcher out past the 20-yard line and taken down at the 29-yard line. Intended for Kenny Stills, who was adjusting to the throw, but Fletcher was right there for the pick.
Poor decision by Drew Brees. This is one that just wasn't there. A hesitate and go on the outside by Stills. Fletcher's all over it, and then Stills tries to undercut it, but the ball sails over his head. So nice job by Fletcher. We talk so much about some of these other guys, but now that's two deep balls that have not worked out for Drew Brees down the same sideline.
Saw Fletcher a couple of weeks ago, 2 interceptions and a forced fumble against Chicago.
And Drew Brees didn't like that. You know, he's a young player, Kenny Stills. He's a big play waiting to happen. But you can't do that. You can't misjudge the ball and undercut the defensive back and cost your quarterback in that situation.
First turnover of the night. Foles now from the 27. Pump fake and then throws underneath, caught by Riley Cooper, who's been their number 2 receiver this season. Jackson number 1. They lost Jeremy Maclin at the start of training camp, so Cooper's been the starter since day 1.
Watch Nick Foles. See him separate his hands there? It's almost like a pump fake, but it's not. It's a way to kickstart his motion. He saw Tom Brady do it, and he says it really has the impact of a pump fake.
2nd and 4, and he's able to avoid the sack. And let's take a look at that Saints defense.
Akeem Hicks, University of Regina, Saskatchewan.
Broderick Bonklin, Florida State.
Cameron Jordan, UC Berkeley.
Junior Gervais Gillette, Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
David Hawthorne, TCU.
Curtis Lofton, Oklahoma.
Corey White, Stanford University.
Roman Harper, Alabama.
Malcolm Jenkins, The Ohio State University.
Raphael Bush, SC State. Keenan Lewis, Oregon State.
Chris talking about separating the hands with Foles. New England and Philadelphia spent 2 or 3 days together in training camp, so he was able to get a first-hand look at what Brady was doing. Foles throws, that'll be caught. That's a first down. That's Jason Avant underneath to the 38-yard line to move the change. Tackled there by Malcolm Jenkins.
Here's what we're talking about. Watch the separation, and he says, I'm not pump faking. I'm actually starting the motion in case I want to go to that receiver, and then I just come back together if I don't to go to the next look, separate again, now throw the football. But he says it's amazing the impact that it has on the defense once you separate your hands, and it kind of gets your motion jump started to throw it if you wanted to.
Foles has started 5 of 8 for 36 yards. So nothing deep. Now you've got McCoy taking the ball up to the 44-yard line. Roman Harper, the safety, makes the stop. When you look at Foles, I mean, take a look at that group. That's not a bad quartet to be a part of. Rodgers, Manning, and Brady flanking Foles there. He was very close to breaking Aaron Rodgers' all-time record highest passer rating in a season. Of course, he took over halfway through the year when Michael Vick got hurt. And that pass is caught by Brent Selleck to the 32-yard line. He goes. Raphael Bush with the coverage. First down.
I tell you, Nick Foles is doing some good stuff. Watch the reaction when he pump fakes to the left out here and just going to open up the hole in behind for Selleck for a big gainer.
24 yards on that play. Foles, ton of time off the play fake, but the coverage is right there. McCoy gets taken down immediately by the linebacker David Hawthorne after a short
and
game.
Here's what happens. Your defensive line gets exhausted when they get one of these drives going. Look at them. They can barely make any movement whatsoever with this 3-man rush. Almost took the play off there.
2nd down and 7. This will be the 7th play of the drive. McCoy cuts it back, and McCoy very close to a first down. Keenan Lewis making the tackle. They're going to spot it just a little bit short of the line to gain. 3rd and 1. And now timeout taken by the Saints. And they do that because they were exhausted. And a big 3rd and 1 coming up early in the game. 3rd down and 1 after the Saints timeout. From the 23. And this is McCoy. One area where the Eagles have had problems, and we saw it last week in Dallas, is this 3rd and 4th and short. So do you go for it here? Kelly, as I said at the top, he'll do anything at any time.
Broderick Bunkley right here in the middle. But this is one of those plays when you don't have a big fullback, which they don't have on this team. You have to have your running back, and now we have a down Saint, and the crowd doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, they think he's faking it. That's Hicks. All right, so there's Hicks getting some attention. Does he need it, Chris?
I think so. This seems to be fairly real right there. Watch him on the tail end of this play. Plants that right leg in the ground, and on 3rd and 1, you're not doing that unless you have something going on. So legitimate there, although this crowd seems to be on it.
Well, the crowd was on it because they thought that Philadelphia might be quick snapping it on 4th down, but Philly was changing offensive personnel as that was going on. 5 of 8, they failed to convert 2 of their last 3 attempts, including a 4th and goal in Dallas last week. They line up to go for it. McCoy flanking Foles in the backfield. So 4th and 1 from the 23-yard line. And they give it to McCoy, and he has the 1st down. To the 15-yard line he goes, over right guard, tackled there by Lofton.
I tell you, this Jason Kelsey's the guy that I like. The center position's going to get out and then get up to this next level and really create an opening in there for LaShawn McCoy. Interesting, 4th and 1, goes shotgun to pick it up.
You love a pulling center too. He can do that as well, right?
You know, that's what the game's about, and it's what Chip Kelly's looking for.
From the 15-yard line, rolling right is Foles. He's going to sling it back to the left side, but that's going to be taken down for a loss. Curtis Lofton reading it perfectly. Tackle is made by Selleck, and there would be Lofton, who would be the quarterback of this defense. 6th year in the league, came over as an unrestricted free agent from Atlanta last season.
I just think one of the smarter players in the game. We have a chance to talk to him from time to time. He is the guy with full control of this defense. No matter what Rob Ryan may send in, he has the ability to audible. That time in man coverage, had no problem making that play.
2nd and 18 in the waning seconds of the opening quarter. And Foles dancing. And he's going to get sacked all the way back at the 36, so they're almost out of field goal range. Cameron Jordan gets the sack. That's going to take us to the end of the quarter.
Well, that's a sack you can't take there. Now you're in trouble with points.
Well, you needed a breather after an 89-point opener of our doubleheader today in Indy. No score, end of 1. Back in Philly, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, wild card Saturday night. Nick Foles, 8 for 11, 55 yards. One of the reasons he throws so few interceptions is he takes a lot of sacks. He took one there. It was an 11-yard sack. It makes it 3rd down and 29. And they try to get at least into field goal range. That's a 5-yard gain by McCoy to the 30, and we go back to that sack that he took, and in comes the field goal unit here.
Well, he admitted to us, he said, there are times in the game I'm just going to be willing to take the sack and not take a chance on turning it over. This should not have been one of them. He was not under pressure in any way, shape, or form. Could have easily thrown the ball away, but as Cameron Jordan got close, he tried to escape from him and simply could not.
Now Alex Henry, this will be a 48-yard field goal attempt as the Eagles try to get on the board first, and it's hooking, and it's no good. So they had a 1st down at the 15-yard line, now set up for a 48-yard attempt, and Peyton's team will get the ball at the 38.
Well, let's give Sean Payton credit for this, exactly what happened here. He took the timeout when it looked like his team was getting avalanched. We talked to him yesterday about that, and he said there are going to be points in this game where this offense of the Eagles gets going. I'm going to call a timeout. You guys are going to second guess me. Won't second guess that one because it stopped all the momentum.
No, and it makes a big difference too to call one in the first half as opposed to the second half when strategically you could run into a lot of trouble, obviously taking a wasted timeout. But in the first half, works out for him. Field goal attempt is no good. And here go the Saints now from the 38-yard line to start this drive. Robinson is the running back. And the rookie out of West Texas A&M, formerly West Texas State, gets taken down by D'Amico Ryans after a gain of 7.
Well, here we go, D'Amico Ryans right here. Talk about the quarterback of the defense. He is for the Philadelphia Eagles. Michael Kendricks has proven athletically to be a superior talent, but the brains of the operation, that guy right there, D'Amico Ryans, they really felt like they needed a quarterback for this defense, made the deal, and he's been sensational.
Here goes Robinson trying to get around the corner. He's going to be stopped a yard short by Michael Kendricks. So the Saints will have a 3rd down and 1. That Eagle defense, because the offense runs so many plays so quickly, they have faced 72 plays per game, the most in the NFL since the '99 Browns, which is the resurrection of that franchise. So they are on the field a lot.
And Chip Kelly says, what difference does it make? Guys like to play football. We just give them more plays to play.
And Breeze will take it himself and push the pile across midfield. One thing that Chip says, among other things, is that time of possession means 0 to him. He loves to say, hey, what does this mean? He goes 0.
Sometimes can be a man of few words. You want to talk about his personal life? He doesn't have a whole lot to say about that, does he? But loves talking football. And I think that, you know, he has really earned the respect. There were a lot of people that just didn't think this offense was going to work. And if you'd have told them that it was going to be Nick Foles instead of Mike Vick, the percentage would have gone down even further than that. But he has proven himself worthy and then some of the National Football League.
Play fake to Ingram. And then the pass goes to Ingram. And then Ingram's going to have a 1st down. Tackled there by Connor Barwin. Good ball handling by Breeze per usual. Pass over the middle. Two good offenses, two different styles, though. When you take a look at that, Eagles 2nd in the league and the Saints 4th in the league. So both can run it up. But the Saints are 2nd in the league in time of possession. San Diego would be 1st. Eagles were last. A lot of ways to skin the cat. From the 38-yard line, here's Ingram. Gain of 1.
There's Benny Logan making the play, the outstanding young linebacker, and they were able to trade away Isaac Sopowaga because of Benny Logan's ability to play nose tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a good bunch up front stopping the run. Cedric Thornton, very good. Fletcher Cox, a #1 draft pick. So the growth of this young defensive line has been really significant in them turning it around in the second half.
2nd and 9. Got those 2 Pro Bowl guards in front of Breeze as he throws and falling down, but still making the catch. Out in the flat is Darren Sproles. And before he can get up, he is tackled at the 31-yard line. Ryans is there. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
I'll tell you, the guy that's played pretty well so far, Teron Armstead. Everybody was so worried about what would happen with him against Trent Cole. Sean Payton wasn't, and really watching him on tape last week, the growth that he showed from one week to the next was pretty remarkable. Greg Hardy got after him pretty good in that Carolina game, but he looks like a guy that is going to be okay. One of the best athletes at tackle we've ever seen.
Lost Ramon Bushrod to free agency to Chicago in the offseason. Sproles turning it upfield and picking up the 1st down. Cedric Thornton making the tackle. So the Saints on the move. This drive 4 minutes old. They've run the ball 5 times and passed twice on this drive.
I don't think that the Eagles defensively were thrilled to hear that Pierre Thomas was going to be out of the game and they were going to get more of Darren Sproles. Defensively, he is one of the most dynamic playmakers in the game. And of course, Marcus Colston on the outside, a guy that has provided a lot of big plays over the years as well.
Colston right now still looking for his first catch of the night. Will it come here as the play clock goes to 0? And instead, the pass is incomplete. Everybody is covered. That was Sproles out in the flat. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It is pretty amazing, isn't it, when you watch this offense and Jimmy Graham out there about 6'7" and Darren Sproles about 5'7", and those are the two cornerstones of this offense. Dynamic playmakers. You really have to double both of those guys when they're on, and it creates opportunities for the rest of them.
Sean Payton, one of the very best at play calling, of course suspended all of last year when the Saints went 7-9. Back this year, got into an 11-5 mark, but losing 3 out of 5 down the stretch. 2nd and 10 as Breeze has time and then checks it off underneath, and swallowed up is Ingram at the 20-yard line. You know, you look at the Saints and going down the stretch, it looked like they could be the number 2 seed, and then they went into last week's game, they could have been 2, 5, 6, or out.
Here's our guy, Teron Armstead on the outside. I think he set the record at the combine for fastest offensive lineman ever, about 4.7. I'm not racing the guy. That's amazing for a guy at 300 pounds, isn't it?
3rd round pick, played his college ball at Arkansas Pine Bluff. 3rd down and 7. Ingram is in the backfield. He gets a good block to let Breeze get the pass away, and then it's Graham making the catch and losing the ball, and it's a fumble and a recovery by Philadelphia. Fletcher Cox. Of course, everything gets reviewed, so did Graham have control? This is very close, but we think the call on the field will stand. It's extremely close. You'll see it. When the shin goes down, he has control of the ball. He's getting tackled by Allen. The shin is on the ground in just another frame or two. There it is. He still has the ball. Here comes Ryans in to get it out. And I don't think there's enough here to overturn it. What do you think, Chris?
It's so close. And remember, the shin starts above the ankle. So the ankle is still part of the foot. The shin is somewhere where the tape job is and up. So as you take a look at it, see where the black starts on the pants, and when that hits, he's down. My true gut feeling, if I had to make a call, I would say he's down. But, you know, do you overturn it? It's not supposed to work that way. If it's bang, bang, you're supposed to stay with the call on the field.
The shin is above the ankle, so you're going to trend on Twitter at least for the next 5 minutes. You understand that, but we know what you're saying.
I know you won't see it there, though.
So Bill Vinovich will go over. He's taking a look at it. Every turnover is obviously reviewed.
Boy, that's close. Really heads up play by D'Amico Ryans to realize that Jimmy Graham was right at the 1st down marker and trying to reach out, and instead of going for the hit, just went for the strip. And this review is taking some time, and I don't blame him. That is one you'd want to see every single angle you could on it.
So is he down? He has control of the ball.
I'd say there he's down. See, I think, to me, that
you got to see enough to overturn the ruling on the field, which was a fumble. So
to me, that looks like the shin's down there and the ball's still in his hand. But I'm about 0 for the fall this year, so if I were an Eagles fan, I'd feel pretty good about this.
You were good in the summer, though, until about week 3.
Brilliant.
Though, right?
Hall of Fame game. I was brilliant.
Here's Vinovich.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Ooh.
The receiver was down by contact at the 13.5-yard line. It'll be 4th down and a half yard to go in the middle of the field.
It's a new year.
There
what
you
happened?
Go.
Yeah, 2014.
Shin's above the ankle. There you go. And now you're going to go for it. At least they're going to line up to go for it on 4th down. It's 4th down and inches at the 13-yard line. NFL average about 2/3 of the time you make it, but the Saints were 4 of 8. Ball at the 13.5-yard line. Under 9 to play. in a scoreless first half. And Breeze will take it himself and pick up the first down. Then there's a flag for a false start. So he had the first down. He had Robinson in the backfield.
Offense number 82. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Benjamin Watson, the 10th year tight end.
No doubt about it. He flinched on the play, and really no reason for it right here. He is not going to be anywhere close to the point of attack. No doubt. Good call.
So now Shane Graham, who took over the kicking duties when they let Garrett Hartley go a couple of weeks ago. Luke McCowan to put it down. This is a 36-yard attempt. And there are your first points. Super Bowl once, twice, and lost both times as Brad Smith takes it up to the 23-yard line. McCoy to the outside on first down. Not very far. We check in with Michelle.
Well, yesterday morning, Sean Payton showed his team a music video with clips including Drew Brees, Darren Sproles, and others, all starring in college games in sub-freezing temperatures. He set the video to Bing Crosby's Winter Wonderland. They had dry ice in the room for a foggy, freezing ambiance. He told me he wanted to make light of all the talk that the Saints can't play in the cold weather, Al.
And Michelle, tonight he gets a big break because it's in the 20s, but there's really no wind to speak of. Avant to the 29-yard line. There was a blizzard here on Thursday night. Yesterday was ice cold in the morning. Last night it got down into the single digits. But today clear, sunny during the day, and in the 20s at night. Not bad. I mean, compared to Green Bay, this is Maui.
We're not complaining here.
3rd and 3. Good coverage there, and the pass is incomplete. Selleck, the intended receiver, and he's covered there by Roman Harper. 4th down.
Boy, a nice play by Roman Harper here, coming over and making this one. Roman Harper really had to step back into duty. He missed a good part of this season with an injury when Kenny Vaccaro went out. And the Saints, a very unusual team. When they go to nickel, they put 3 safeties in the game instead of another corner. Paid off there.
Here's Donnie Jones. Booming kick, backing up 18-yard line. Darren Sproles back to the 32. So it's a 14-yard run back after a 53-yard punt. Philadelphia on the Saturday night.
Well, I tell you, the stars are not showing up so far for the Philadelphia Eagles. LaShawn McCoy under 3 yards a carry. Deshaun Jackson zip for the night.
Sproles is the back here on first down. Breeze with protection over the middle. That's the first catch of the night for Marcus Colston.
Well, the story coming in, Teron Armstead, how would he do? And so far he's been pretty good. One of the nice things that happens on this offensive line, they're so good up front with Ben Grubbs and Jari Evans and Brian De La Puente. Drew Brees has had plenty of room to step up into the pocket, but Armstead has more than held his own on the outside.
Well, Charles Brown starting 14 games again. We mentioned Bushrod went to Chicago as a free agent. So the rookie is the man in the spotlight in postseason play as Ingram takes it for a gain of 3. Again, if Philadelphia wins this game tonight, they go to Carolina next weekend. New Orleans is the 6th seed. If they win, they go to Seattle, where they had a nightmarish Monday night game late in the year.
Yeah, but this game is being played at the pace the New Orleans Saints were hoping for. The Eagles got one drive going, and Sean Payton called the timeout, and that stopped cold.
Jeffrey and Tina Lurie looking on. Jeffrey's on the team for 20 years now. 2nd down and 6, and Breeze will take it across the 50-yard line, stopped by D'Amico Ryans. a yard short of a first down, 3rd and 1.
Well, we talked about it a little bit, but obviously with Drew Brees, not the tallest guy, you've got to secure this area right here. And once they wiped out all the interior, then Drew Brees able to just really didn't see anything he liked. Take off down the field and set up another 3rd. This whole game's been 3rd or 4th and 1.
Kyrie Robinson, the rookie, is the running back. Setting up deep in the backfield. Going to give it to him. And he's going to fight his way for a first down. To the 45-yard line goes Robinson.
You know, this Kyrie Robinson is some story. He was a free agent, but he wasn't even called afterwards. He had to go through a tryout just to get signed for training camp and almost didn't make it to camp. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And now here he is lined up in a playoff game, and they're handing him the football in key situations.
Won his job by leading the league in preseason rushing yardage. 228. Of course, when you're trying to win a job, you're going to get a lot of opportunities in preseason, and he made the most of them. From the 44-yard line, swinging to the outside goes Ingram. And Ingram is able to turn it into a gain of about 4 before Kerry Williams, who played last year with the Super Bowl champion Ravens, forces him out of bounds.
Isn't it interesting? Chris Ivory earlier in the year had the big game for the Jets against them, and everybody started screaming we traded the wrong guy. We should have traded Mark Ingram. And then Ingram came right back against the Cowboys and had a huge day there. And now he may be counted on for as long as this playoff run may run for the Saints.
Well, with Pierre Thomas out and using Sproles, Ingram, and Robinson rotating them here. Brees throws. It's picked off at the 35-yard line. That's D'Amico Ryans. And out of bounds in New Orleans territory. Second turnover tonight for the Saints.
Really couldn't have been any easier for D'Amico Ryans right here. Drew Brees looks left, looks left, looks left, and who does D'Amico Ryans? So really not a good start thus far for Drew Brees. He misses the big throw early, comes back with the interception here.
Ryans had 2 interceptions during the regular season.
When you've got the history of losing on the road in the playoffs, it just starts building the pressure even more the next time you go out.
From the 44-yard line, first down. Fake to McCoy. Foles hangs in. Wide open is Riley Cooper to the 22-yard line. Raphael Bush with the tackle. Crowd chanting Coop. 22 yards.
When you go in motion and the corner runs with you, you know it's man coverage, and I think Nick Foles knew right away where he was going. Corey White essentially now the 4th cornerback that would be playing in there. They've had a lot of key injuries at the corner. Jabari Greer, Patrick Robinson. Would imagine when they get the opportunity, they're going to try and pick on Corey White.
Jackson in motion. He's still looking for his first catch of the night. And the pass is caught underneath. Taken down to the 19-yard line is Zach Ertz. Curtis Lofton making the tackle.
Well, if there is a Jimmy Graham type player on the Philadelphia Eagles, Zach Ertz was drafted to be exactly that. And here's Deshaun Jackson, who has had so many big games in his career against the Saints, but so far they have taken him away, and Keenan Lewis has a lot to do with that.
Second and 6 from the 18. Big hole. McCoy. First down.
Kind of interesting. Jason Kelsey that time tried to get the reach block going and kind of overran the play, and McCoy said, all right, fine, you're going to try and push my guy that far out there, Broderick Bunkley. I'm just going to take it back the other way. And it was kind of interesting talking with Chip Kelly about some of the things that LaShawn McCoy does. He said, yeah, he frustrates me sometimes when we have a play design and he jumps it outside, but when he jumps it outside and goes for 40, I don't complain too much about that.
First and 10 from the 11. Buying a ton of time is Foles, and then he checks it down. It's Avant making the catch, and he's taken out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Eagles hot in the red zone, scoring a touchdown 8 of their last 9 red zone drives. And you got Paris Harrelson, who is down for New Orleans. The crowd doesn't like that, but in effect, the clock was going to start because it's outside 2 minutes. When they spotted the ball, they probably would have taken it to the 2-minute warning. And this is not one of those situations where Harrelson's trying to buy time.
Yeah, but don't tell Chip Kelly that. He's already out there having a conversation with the Stripes.
Because the clock will be wound down because of was out of bounds. Then the ball gets respotted outside 2 minutes to the half. They'll wind it down to the 2-minute warning. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's 2nd down and 9. Saints on top 3-0 with 2 minutes to go in the half. It is 2nd down and 9 for the Philadelphia Eagles at the 10-yard line. The Eagles second in offense this year, second in yardage in the league. They've been limited to 112 yards in the first 28 minutes. 2nd and 9 from the 10. Showing a 3-man rush, and they send 3, and the pass is incomplete in the back of the end zone. Zach Ertz was there, covered by Corey White. So they rush 3, 8 in coverage, 3rd and 9.
Well, that's what they do. They get matchups on the outside. You get Zach Ertz, a big, tall tight end, a perfectly thrown ball by Nick Foles. Ertz really has to hold that line inside a little bit better than that. He just had nowhere to fade to the ball. A bigger guy should have been able to squeeze that corner inside and leave himself some room to the outside.
Again, a 3-man rush all night in the pocket. And then the pass is caught by Cooper. Touchdown.
Three-man rush and all day to throw the football, but this time Nick Foles does not lose his attention when Cameron Jordan is coming at him, and that young man in the red zone has been simply sensational. That is his 17th touchdown now without an interception. Big time play by Nick Foles.
Foles with otherworldly numbers this year. 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Financial Field, home of the Eagles now for 11 seasons after moving over from old Veterans Stadium. Sproles is back to receive the kick. Saints have 2 timeouts as we head to the finish of the half. Sproles brings the ball back out to the 26-yard line.
Well, we talked about it earlier when Nick Foles sort of lost focus when Cameron Jordan came at him late. This time keeps those eyes right down the field. Nice play by Riley Cooper. Riley Cooper giving him the signal, and really for Riley Cooper, he has been sensational this year. We know about some of the off the field stuff, but where would they be without his 17+ yards per catch? And I think that's about his 9th touchdown on the year now.
From the 25-yard line, Breeze facing a 3-man rush, and it is caught by Jimmy Graham. Tight coverage, backing up, makes the catch before he's taken out of bounds by Connor Barwin. That's a gain of 17.
Well, they're trying to run Connor Barwin in man coverage underneath him and still have safeties help over the top, but that's what they're so afraid of with Jimmy Graham, just the ability and that whole catching radius. And once again on the outside, Teron Armstead getting it done.
Graham now 3 catches for 44 yards. Inside handoff, and they give it to Sproles. And that's a nice 13-yard pickup to the Philadelphia 45-yard line.
Well, you want to start going nickel and dime and running people out to the wide receivers. That time the middle linebacker just sprinted away from the ball, and the draw was just huge.
Breeze. Oh boy, he cocked the arm and almost had it taken away by Brandon Graham, and then Graham gets there for the sack, and Philadelphia is going to take a timeout. 2nd and 12. Right.
Stepping away from that right side. He's been used to sort of ducking in underneath, but when he stepped right, Teron Armstead, whatever. But I thought it was more of, you're going to blame Armstead on that one, but he's used to him being tucked up in the pocket up there.
Housekeeping time. The timeout taken by New Orleans. They have 1 remaining. We have 66 seconds remaining in the half. 2nd and 11 from the 46 of the Eagles. Four-man rush, pass is incomplete, and Breeze is trying to get a flag because he felt Sproles was being held by Fletcher Cox.
Actually tackled. Would have been
held and
the better play. Here's Sproles right there, and that's a tackle. There's just no way around that.
Now there is a flag. A flag does come in after several seconds.
Holding. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I'll say.
That was the cleanest tackle of the night. I mean, that was a form, breakdown and put the head right between the chest. That perfect tackle.
This is how you do it. But it took the crew about 8 or 9 seconds to finally throw the flag. Minute 2, ball to 41. Eagles up by 4. Does it to the outside, a little low, and that's Stills making the catch. The rookie out of Oklahoma has had a lot of big plays this season for the Saints.
Yeah, they're starting to double down the middle against Jimmy Graham and Colston and some of those guys, and now the outside receivers are getting that one-on-one coverage, and Breeze sees it.
Gain of 14. And Breeze into double coverage and incomplete. Graham is there, but he was covered by Nate Allen. And Allen had help on the play as well. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, sometimes even if it is double coverage, you're going to do it. So here's the inside route. They're going to double Jimmy Graham, as they should. And on the outside, Bradley Fletcher now is going to be one-on-one. And that's really where the ball should have gone. Although Jimmy Graham has caught 16 of those for touchdowns, so you can't argue too much.
34 seconds, 2nd and 10. Sproles is the back. And Breeze has it deflected and incomplete. Connor Barwin, who's known for that great vertical jump we saw him last week in Dallas, basketball player at Cincinnati, knocking it in the air.
Well, it was a perfect play by Connor Barwin, because first of all, he had Darren Sproles and he knocked him off the path, and then flipped around and still tipped the football. That is as good a football play by an outside linebacker as you're going to see right up here. Watch him. He's going to take Sproles out of the play first and then knock the ball down.
3rd and 10. And Breeze is going to go down. Only a 3-man rush. He stepped up in the pocket. Couldn't get it away. Trent Cole is there. And then New Orleans, with the clock ticking down, will have a 4th down and 10. And Peyton will let it run down to the point where there's no more time left after the field goal. And he'll take his timeout right there, and he will try to make it a 7-6 game with a field goal that will be about 47 yards when they line up.
I think you got to start coming back down. Drew Brees wants to get a good shot down the field, but you go back to basics, and Drew Brees over the years has made such a nice combination with Darren Sproles, and look on the outside as Connor Barwin is just going to take a pound of flesh out there, and then Armstead really not his fault at all. Trent Cole, good hustle back inside.
Shane Graham has only been a Saint for a couple of weeks now. Been around a long time with a lot of teams. 14th year in the league. The Texans last year, 46-yard attempt. He's had one attempt tonight from 36 that was good. Graham's kick is just inside the right upright. Go figure. 89 points in Indianapolis in today's game. 13 at halftime here. 7-6 Philadelphia. So Bill Davis, the defensive coordinator for Philadelphia, and Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator for New Orleans. Their units have done the work. Philly had won the opening toss and deferred, so they get the second half kickoff. Thomas Morstead to send it down to Brad Smith. Comes up and fields at the 6. And then slips down at the 25-yard line is where they'll spot it. And we go to Michelle.
Yeah, Al, I asked Chip Kelly about Deshaun Jackson, the fact that he's had 0 catches. How do they get him more involved? And he said, we've got to get everyone more involved, not just one player. But the touchdown drive, he said, show them they can make plays. They just need to be more consistent. As for Sean Payton, he said they had self-inflicted wounds, but they can correct those. He said, I'm excited and encouraged. We're only down 1 point, and we're defending well. He thinks that bodes well.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And the weather has been no issue for the Saints tonight. Mid-20s, but no wind, good conditions. Foles steps up, throws, caught 6-yard gain as Jason Avant makes the catch at the 31-yard line.
Well, we see it all the time, but Jason Peters doing a good job, and then coming out is Evan Mathis's buddy. So just about the time that Junior Gillette thinks he's got a little something going, he gets a rib shot from Evan Mathis.
Spotted at the 30, second down and 5. Blitz coming, and Foles hit as he throws, and he does get it away. That was Curtis Lofton.
That's going to be intentional grounding.
He was inside the tackle box. Who was he throwing it to? No flag yet. Vinovich discussing it. He's between the tackles, and here comes the flag. Because all he was doing was avoiding the sack. Obviously, you got to be outside the tackle box. That's the call. Lost it down as well.
Offense number 9. 10-yard penalty. Lost it down. 3rd down.
You're going to see right here, once he stays inside that tackle box, gets it beyond the line of scrimmage, but there's nobody even close. No real check down for him to go to anywhere close. LaShawn McCoy was blocking on the play. So now another long 3rd down for Nick Foles.
3rd and 17 from the 18. And pressure again, and he gets sacked at the 9, and that's Cameron Jordan, who had a dozen this season. That's his 2nd of the night. And so an inglorious beginning to the second half for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's 4th and 26.
Here we go, working against the rookie, Lane Johnson. So we've been talking a lot about Teron Armstead, the rookie on the other side, but that time it's the 4th overall pick, Lane Johnson, that gets beat.
4th and 26. Music to the ears of a lot of Eagle fans from a few years ago, but not at this point. At the 35-yard line, Darren Sproles brings it back to the 48-yard line. So Drew Brees will take over near midfield, his first possession of the second half. And we'll take a look at some of the numbers through the opening half. Philadelphia with that great ground game, but nothing doing tonight. Passing yardage minimal for both teams. Turnovers a pair, and the second of which led to the Philadelphia touchdown.
And when they've been getting beat on the road in the playoffs, it has been turnovers that have beaten them in the past. And so now for Drew Brees, he's got to settle himself to some extent. Maybe they come back to the running game now.
Brees 10 to 18, 92 yards. Mark Ingram is the running back in this set. Here goes Ingram. Gain of a couple to the 49. Well, you all know that turnovers are always usually important. Coaches are always talking about winning that battle. But in the history of postseason, take a look at that. A negative turnover margin, which the Saints are in that position right now, 16 and 195. So that is the battle that almost always wins you the game.
The Eagles should just take a knee the rest of the way.
Right. 2nd and 8. And over left tackle to the 47 of Philadelphia goes Ingram. Making it 3rd down and 4.
Well, one thing that the Saints felt like they could do is run the ball a little bit, because they didn't feel like that either of these safeties were overwhelming tacklers. So you get a chance to force them to come out of the middle of the field, and if that happens, then you get the opportunity to throw some more of those seams that look so good in the first half.
Breeze on a 3rd and 4. He converts. That's Lance Moore making the catch. So Moore gets into the action for the first time in the game.
One of the things you can do to protect wide receivers is on the outside run this bunch formation so they can't jam everybody coming off the ball. And then Lance Moore able to get just beyond the first down marker. There were a few defenses early in the year that really began to unsettle the Saints a little bit by playing that jam on them, and that's one way they can try to come back and make a play.
They have Ingram as the running back, Collins is the fullback. He gets in behind Collins and picks up a first down and about 7 more before Nate Allen makes the tackle. So they put Collins in, provide some leverage, and he cuts off him for a gain of 18.
Boy, the big guy, Pro Bowler for the 5th time. Watch Jari Evans come out here in front. This is a team, they're not real mobile on the offensive line, but when a guy like Jari Evans gets out front and lays a hit on you, usually you're going backwards. And right what we talked about a little bit, he came out and just settled down a little bit. Run the football, give the big guys up front a chance.
Tyree Robinson, the rookie, is the running back here. He'll take it, swing it to the outside. Flag down. To the 16 he goes. It's like a hold on Josh Hill. Take my word for it. Or don't.
You got it. You never miss anything.
You want to bet?
Yeah, Josh Hill right there. And as he makes the block, he's expecting that Kyrie Robinson is going to go inside. When he bounced to the outside, he really just reacted and grabbed the jersey. But Josh Hill was not brought here as a blocker. He is a guy that is a pass receiver. Had 70 catches at Idaho State. So that's not really his role.
1st and 20. Three-man rush. This time it's Sproles, and good tackle there by Cary Williams. Williams, 5th-year guy out of Washburn, free agent, came over from Baltimore last year. Demonstrative. He's part of that whole Eagles secondary. They had to revamp everything, picked up guys left and right all over the place, and they're last in the league in pass defense, but a lot of that has to do with being on the field more than any other defense.
That's exactly right. When you go yards per game, that doesn't look so good. You go yards per play, and all of a sudden they're back in the middle of the pack.
And they've had some big takeaways, including one last week, obviously, at the end of the Dallas game. Breeze fires, caught. Lance Moore to the end zone. Touchdown. Lance Moore, who did not have a single catch in the opening half, 2 on this drive, salutes himself there. 24-yard touchdown reception, and they go 53 yards in 6 plays.
Going to get a lot of coverage down the field now. Jimmy Graham, and that's Kenny Stills double teamed in the back, and that was literally the 4th receiver, the 4th look. Lance Moore coming back and just settles in the hole. Sometimes it's so nice to have a veteran guy in the ball game in key games. It's not a matter of beating somebody. It's just understanding what your quarterback is going to see. And Lance Moore lately has been a huge target.
Extra point by Graham is good. show in San Diego for next year. Here's Brad Smith taking it from the goal line. To the 24-yard line he goes. Eagles start from the 24-yard line. Here's McCoy. He's going to cut it back. And to the 27-yard line on a Ms. Pac-Man run. Akeem Hicks makes the tackle. 2nd and 8.
Well, here's all the signals happening again on the outside. Chip Kelly right into Nick Foles, the assistant coaches into the rest of the team for their particular set of players.
Stretch play to McCoy. He's going to get taken down at the 30. So a couple of runs on 1st and 2nd down has set up a 3rd down and 4. And this is the Eagles' 2nd possession of the 2nd half.
So the speed comes from how they send it in. That's Chip Kelly sending it into Nick Foles, but he doesn't have to relay it really to the rest of the players because they get it from their particular assistant.
So now you got Avant going into the slot to the right. Cooper wide to the left. You got Jackson split wide right. Still looking for his first grab of the night.
And Lewis has something to do with that. He's right in his face.
Right there. And now you got a timeout taken by Philadelphia. So a lot of moving parts, things going on. Signals being sent in, and it's a 2nd half timeout that they have to waste.
Here's our guy, Keenan Lewis, and Rob Ryan telling us the most underappreciated free agent maybe ever in the National Football League. And he's done a job tonight on Deshaun Jackson. Has it all absolutely been perfect? Probably not. Jackson probably had a few opportunities. But when you get a guy that can take on one of the best receiving threats in the NFL, boy, he is worth his weight in gold. And you just wonder, he was a New Orleans guy and just wanted to leave Pittsburgh to come back home to New Orleans, if that had a little impact on the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this season.
No question.
Off to their slow start.
They're going to probably revamp some of that defense, and he'd have been a nice part to have been able to keep. But he wanted to go home. And right now it's 3rd and 4. And the pass is caught and then dropped. Riley Cooper trying to look upfield because he had a lot of room after the catch, but he couldn't haul it in. 4th down.
Oh my goodness, they had the perfect play on. A little pick play with the tight end going up the field and picked, and look, there's nobody left over there. And here it comes inside, and you're going to see the little pick play right there. And there was nothing left.
Donnie Jones. And at the 30-yard line, Sproles is going to take it and not go very far. Tackled there by Kurt Coleman.
Chip Kelly called timeout to get to this play and had it set up perfectly on the outside. Going to run a little pick in there and then go across. And with the man coverage up here, there is going to be nobody left on that side of the field. Here comes Cooper across. You can see there is nothing but green grass in front. That hurt.
Had a blocker with him as well. Would have gone a long way, but instead it is a 1st down for the Saints at their own 34-yard line. Start with Ingram in the backfield. And Ingram working his way through the middle, gets to the 37-yard line. D'Amico Ryans making the tackle. Much made about the Saints at home. When you look at Breeze in 2013, phenomenal at home. On the road, 12 TDs, 9 picks. And then you got Nick Foles, who was pretty good at home, but phenomenal on the road. 138.4 rating and single season mark on the road for a quarterback. Of course, Philadelphia went 10 games over 2 years without winning a game here. 2nd and 7. And then, of course, they got hot in the 2nd half of the year. And to the 42-yard line goes Mark Ingram. Tackled there by Fletcher, setting up 3rd and short. Sean Payton at home. You would go to the 2011 season, and he suspended, of course, last year, and then undefeated again this year. 16-0. The last 2 seasons in which he has coached, 8-8 on the road. But tonight on the road, get a pretty good break with the weather because it's cold, but very little wind. Field is in great shape. Clear skies, 3rd and 2.
Well, you got a little something working in the backfield. Lance Moore now coming out in motion.
Prior to the delay game, timeout. New Orleans.
Yeah, he looked at that defense and then thought better of it. So again, a timeout. Each team has had to use a second half timeout. Very interesting game and very low scoring, which is kind of unusual for these 2 teams, but it's a very different ebb and flow in this one.
Well, you get to the playoff pressure and everything matters. You make a mistake here, you make a mistake there. Riley Cooper there with the miss. And in these kinds of games, it may well come down to a single play or 2. We haven't seen the explosiveness yet out of this Philadelphia Eagles offense. So remember, 99 plays this season, 20+ yards. And tonight really has not been a factor.
And if the Saints win, they go to Seattle. If Philadelphia wins, they go to Carolina. 3rd and 2 after the timeout. Breeze. And steps up in the pocket and then throws. Flag is thrown. Marcus Colston. Eagles indicating it's going to be against New Orleans. You got an Eagle down on the ground. Here's Vinovich.
Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Kerry Williams is the guy who's down. You've got Armstead with the hold, the rookie.
Yeah, Armstead is going to end up just trying to fight as long as he could. And there's a little bit of the hold. Drew Brees had to hold the ball himself longer than he wanted. And then Armstead got exposed.
Kerry Williams is
big one.
Oh, yeah.
Kerry Williams is their A corner on the outside. Big free agent, came over from the Ravens. 3 interceptions this year, had 2 in the playoffs for the Ravens last year. He has brought an edge to this defense.
Well, he has to come out for at least 1 play now. It's 3rd down and 12 for the Saints.
And that's going to make a difference. Now let's see who ends up in the game in his place. Looks like Rock Carmichael.
It is.
Number 21. Drew Brees will understand that. Sean Payton will understand that.
There's Carmichael getting some advice.
I would stay away from number 22, Brandon Boykin, though. We have seen him make some big plays the last 2 weeks.
Saved the game against Dallas last week. There goes Brees, and Brees will throw and make the catch for a 1st down. Kenny Stills, he knew exactly where he needed to go, and of course Brees knows Carmichael's in the game, and where does he go? Right there.
Right after him. Right on the outside, make a late adjustment, drop back underneath, and of course you've got to respect the speed of Kenny Stills, but that is tremendous play calling there on the part of Sean Payton, and Drew Brees understood it as well.
They've got Williams back in the game, out for 1 play, but a big play. 17 1st downs to 7 for the Saints. 6:20 remaining in the 3rd. Brees, protection breaking down, climbs that pocket, wide open, and making the catch is Benjamin Watson, the number 2 tight end, been around a long time, 10th year in the league. And Watson is able to move the ball all the way down to the 27-yard line.
Right out here, Ben Grubbs on the left of the center here picks up the blitzing. Michael Kendricks just long enough. Then Drew Brees has to do what he does so well, step up in the pocket. But we have seen Michael Kendricks wreak havoc in the backfield. That time Grubbs just good enough.
Gain of 27 from the 27. Ingram staying on his feet and fighting his way for extra yardage.
I think Sean Payton's looking for a face mask. That was a little weird looking on the tail end of that play. Just spun him around. I'm not sure that he had the face mask, though. One of those plays that looked like it. I'm not sure if it happened or not, though.
It's his arm underneath him. You'll see it here. There he is. There's Williams.
Grabbed the shoulder pad. That was a good no call by the officials.
And it's a 10-yard gain for Ingram.
The running game has made a huge difference here in the second half for the Saints.
And that's tipped, and Sproles is able to make the grab, and he fights his way, turning about a 2 or 3 yard gain into 9. Sproles taking the ball inside the 10-yard line.
Well, that's what makes him so dangerous. That ball was tipped coming off the line of scrimmage. And you think a guy 5'7", he's not going to run for any power, right? You would be wrong, because now on back-to-back plays, the Eagles defensively tackle very poorly and end up giving up about 20 yards because of it.
Another deflection for Connor Barwin, but it gets through for a gain of 9. Ingram comes back into the backfield. 2nd and 1. Ingram. And that will make it 1st down and goal from the 4-yard line with 4.5 to play in the 3rd.
And there's nothing better than being on the road and running the football. We saw Chip Kelly in the deciding drive last week. 11 plays, 9 of those rushes to win the game against the Dallas Cowboys. And now he's seeing it come back to haunt him as this high-flying passing game of the New Orleans Saints is pounding him running the ball.
Good balance for the Saints tonight. 23 running plays, 26 passing plays. Run number 24 is Ingram taking it to the goal line and in for the touchdown. Eight plays, 66 yards. Takes a little less than 5 minutes.
Out of the pistol formation. Let's make sure he gets in here. Yes, absolutely. Nice job by Mark Ingram. Cedric Thornton really made a good play, probably too good a play, because he pushed Ben Grubbs all the way out of the way and left a huge cutback lane there for Mark Ingram. Feeling a little better about the Heisman Trophy winner now, aren't they?
15 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown tonight for Ingram in the absence of Pierre Thomas. Graham for the point after. Here's the kick fielded at the goal line by Brad Smith. And Smith, a nice run back all the way out to the 35-yard line. The NFC wild card playoff in Philadelphia. What about the stars for the Eagles tonight? Held in check. Foles only 104 yards. McCoy, the league's rushing champion, 38 yards, 10 receiving, and Deshaun Jackson has been blanked. And part of the reason is Mr. Rob Ryan right there, who was with Dallas last year. 10 years he's been a defensive coordinator with different teams. It's the first time as a defensive coordinator he's been to the playoffs. And pretty magnificent thus far tonight as McCoy takes it upfield, and McCoy is able to work his way for an 11-yard gain.
Boy, that looked like it was going to go nowhere. Roman Harper was really kind of in perfect position and was basically did a slide tackle attempt and just allowed McCoy to get all the way to the outside of him there. That should have been a better play than that for the Saints.
Serpentine run for LaShawn McCoy, gain of 11 from the 46-yard line. Play action buys time, and a dangerous pass. Avant was there, and he gets hit by Lewis, and Lewis is shaken up. Lewis hitting him so hard that Lewis is down.
I don't know if this is in any way helmet-to-helmet kind of contact. I don't think so. He came up and sort of caught him in the shoulder pad area. But for some reason, he's down. And I'm going to tell you, there may not be a more significant injury that you could name on this team the way this game is going right now, other than Drew Brees, than if Keenan Lewis is hurt, because he has done the job tonight on Deshaun Jackson.
Talked about that banged up New Orleans secondary. They lost Jabari Greer about a month ago, the cornerback. They lost Kenny Vaccaro, the rookie safety who had played brilliantly, and now you got Lewis down. And when play resumes, it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, one of the things the league is trying to do is to get the players to quit using their head, and now you see why. It was helmet to the shoulder, but if he had led with his shoulder, would have gotten the same hit and not had the issue. So earlier in the day with Jamal Charles. And if this is in any way considered concussion-like symptoms, he could well be finished for the game. Don't know that that's what it is, but he looks a little groggy coming to his feet, doesn't he? Wow, and you see those sort of, you close your eyes hard and try to unscramble a bit. And now they are really going down the list. Bud Sweeting comes into the game, and they are getting thin in the secondary.
So you got Sweeting. He's a rookie free agent from Georgia Tech. Been playing on special teams. But right now, Foles looking over that defense. He knows he's in the game. Sweeting lines up on Cooper. And now, before a 2nd and 10.
It was a late reaction by Jason Peters. They're going to try and decide now, is he drawn or not?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
He was. They called it on Junior Gillette.
I think it's the right call, but it was close. I think Jason Peters, give him credit. Good intelligence here. Understands that once he jumps, I can move. I don't think it was an immediate reaction, which is what the rule is, but I think it was close enough. I would have called it the same way.
2nd and 5. Foles flushed out, keeping his eyes downfield, and making the catch at the 10-yard line is Deshaun Jackson. And that's a pretty good way to get off the schneid. Got position on Corey White and was able to take it away.
Very close to the boundary here on the outside. Here's Jackson going to kind of get pushed out and up. Of course, can't step on that boundary. They're trying to hustle up to make sure they don't get a look at that. But there you go. Keenan Lewis goes out and Deshaun Jackson goes up.
1st and goal. Fake, and Jackson, who spent the whole night not catching a pass, now has 2 in 2 plays. 2nd and goal.
Brutal league, Al. I'm telling you, you show some sign of weakness. Let's see. Does Jackson step on the line? May have, but doesn't matter now.
Second down and goal. LaShawn McCoy to the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal.
There was a lot of conversation on the part of the Saints that LaShawn McCoy reminds them of Barry Sanders. I think David Hawthorne might vote that way as well. That was pretty amazing. You know, what do you do? I've heard guys talk about trying to tackle Barry Sanders. It's like you close your eyes to make contact and all of a sudden you have no contact.
3rd and goal. McCoy again. Stopped at the 1-yard line. Akeem Hicks is there. So you got a minute and change left in the 3rd. Down 13 points. Almost certainly to go for it here, even though the Eagles are looking over to the bench. It's a 2-possession game.
One of the plays of the game so far by Akeem Hicks. Off the double team, up to make the play to set up another huge 4th down.
Foles asking for quiet. The play clock down to 6. It's 4th and goal. Avant comes in motion to the inside. Play clock at 1. They just do get it off. And McCoy goes in for the touchdown. Just beat the play clock. Yard reception by Jackson, setting it up. In they go on 4th and goal.
The power of the read option. The guy right here doesn't know if Foles is going to come down. They're going to wipe everything down here and leave him unblocked. And he has to hesitate because he's not sure if Foles is going to come out to the outside. Touchdown, Eagles.
Henry for the extra point to make it 20-14 with 32 seconds left in the third.
Here we go. Will Herring out there, just not sure. You can see him just hesitate for a minute. And that was just enough. They were able to bring everybody down. Essentially what that does, Al, is it gives you an additional blocker because there's one guy you don't have to block. It's what makes the option game so tough to defend. You leave one guy unblocked, you get an extra blocker on the inside, and you get a touchdown.
A lot of interesting stuff, obviously, on that series. If Jackson had been out of bounds, Sean Payton could have challenged that on the 40-yard reception. And I don't know whether he didn't think he was out of bounds or whether he got some word from upstairs or what. It was very close.
Well, and it happened on his side of the field, so he got a pretty good look at it. So he must not have been out of bounds, or he didn't think he was out of bounds.
That set it up, a 6-point game, 20-14 with 32 seconds remaining in the third.
Not such a low-scoring game anymore, is it?
It's 3-0 for a long time as Sproles elects to down it in the end zone. So Breeze hot in the second half. He's been perfect, 6 out of 6 for 89 yards after he'd thrown 2 picks in the opening half.
I thought it was just great play calling on the part of Sean Payton to go back to the run game, give Drew Brees a chance to look at some of those 8-man fronts, bringing guys down, having to stop the run. Then the passing game opened up.
From the 20. Play action. Pressure on. Breeze throwing. Incomplete. Brandon Graham putting the pressure on from the backside that time. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and Drew Brees has got to take a lesson from this because Teron Armstead, as long as he's stepping up, is not having problems. But when he is moving this way, now Armstead's expecting his quarterback to be in here. And now he's escaping late, and we're seeing Brees take some hits. So he really needs to begin to work back up in that pocket. But that time, I think it was Cedric Thornton that got some pressure up the middle, and that's what flushed him out.
Crowd roaring, 2nd and 10. Over the right side, 7-yard gain, flag down Ingram to the 27-yard line. Against the Saints.
I think it was Brian De La Puente.
Holding. Offense number 60. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
The old outside zone play where all those linemen synchronize movement to try and get out front and then let the back cut where he may. But another takedown on the part of De La Puente.
2nd down, 20 now from the 10. Great protection underneath though. Checks it down to Josh Hill, number 3 tight end, to the 20. It's going to make it 3rd down and 10 when we start the 4th quarter. After 3. It's 20-14 Saints, and Wild Card Saturday on NBC resumes after these messages. 20-14 New Orleans. 3rd and 11 for the Saints from their own 19-yard line. And they give it to Sproles, and he gets stopped at the 21. So the Eagles with a big stop with Vinnie Curry right there. And the Saints to punt.
You know, I think there was a little tip on that play because you had no Jimmy Graham in the football game and Ben Watson in there. So already I was thinking pre-snap, what is up with this in that key situation?
So there's Deshaun Jackson setting up to return the kick. Morstead to boot it away. .48-yard punt fielded by Jackson going down the sideline, and he's out of bounds in front of the New Orleans bench.
Well, Deshaun Jackson's awake now, and all it took was a Keenan Lewis injury. He goes out of the game, and then Deshaun Jackson started going to work against Corey White here. Comes up with the big play down the field. Just throw it up, Nick Foles. Give him a chance. Beautifully done. Then with Paris Harrelson out of the game, they take advantage to score the touchdown, and now the punt return right on top of it. So sometimes with star players, you get them going a little bit, and they can start to take over a game.
29-yard return after a 47-yard Morstead punt. Keenan Lewis is still not back. Sweeting is in there, the rookie. McCoy gets bounced down after a gain of 2. More on Lewis. Here's Michelle.
Yeah, he went back to the locker room. They said he has a head injury. He's doubtful. They wouldn't confirm, the Saints, whether or not he was getting concussion protocol. But he argued with coaches the whole time on the bench. He did not want to leave the field, did not want to go to the locker room. But there he stays for now.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And doesn't Foles know that? He took advantage of it the last time. Can he do it again? It's caught by Cooper in front of Sweeting. So they're going to work on the free agent rookie. Crowd with a Coop chant and a first down.
Well, Nick Foles is no fool either. He found Rod Sweeting, the backup on the outside, and Riley Cooper goes to work on him. He never looked anywhere else.
Off the fake. Cooper again. Boy, it's Cooper and Sweeting. Sweeting is just in the crosshairs right now. 14 yards and another first down.
When you see the man coverage down the field, you don't even have to think about it. They are going to go after him with every shot as long as they're going to stay in man. Almost now to the point where they're going to have to give some help to that side. But the Saints hurting now in their secondary. Very few cover guys. Their options of what Rob Ryan can call very limited at this point.
There it is, top of the screen again. He may get some help, though, from the safety. We'll see.
Looks like he is. Looks like Harper is leaning that way.
Foles goes the other way, and it's incomplete. He had Deshaun Jackson covered there by Corey White. 2nd and 10, and there's Lewis back on the sideline.
You know, and this is where it's so significant. Keenan Lewis is saying, I'm fine, and this whole discussion now about concussions, Al, I can just tell you, when I was playing football, he would be back in the game. The doctors now are taking a much stronger approach to this issue, and he's not.
For certain. 2nd down and 10. 16. McCoy plugs his way to the 12-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6. 12 and a half to go in the 4th.
Boy, here's a play, isn't it? Rob Ryan, who's seen a few games at the end slip away from him on the road this season, knows he is his hands tied right now with who's playing in the secondary.
Cooper and Sweeting, top of the screen. Full surveys, guns it over the middle. It's going to be short of the first down. McCoy makes the catch. It's going to be 4th down and 2 or 3. Lofton makes the tackle. And what do you do now if you're Kelly?
This is interesting. Going to see the safety help again. They're not going to let one guy beat them on the outside, and now looks like the field goal unit is coming on. That is a long one, and they've had some issues, let's face it, on 4th down. So cut it to 3.
They're trying to make it 20-17, barring a fake.
Don't you get the feeling that Chip Kelly just hates this?
Yes.
I mean, it's just grinding on him, the fact that he has to kick this field goal.
The whole world is 4-down territory for him. He got a flag before the snap.
False start, looks like.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
It's Matt Tobin.
But that is a huge stop now for the New Orleans Saints defensively. And now it is truly going to be up to Drew Brees and this offense to win the game. Offensively, you have to understand your defense is in a precarious position, and you're going to have to score touchdowns to win this thing.
31-yard attempt now. Jones to put it down. Henry to put it through from 31. So 11-14 left in regulation. The Saints lead is now 3. Philadelphia, PA on a chilly but clear and basically windless and dry night. Temperature now 22, 25 at game time, 20-17. The Saints on top. Saints with a win go to Seattle. Philly with a win goes to Carolina in round 2 next week. And this is a short kick. Coming up to field it at the 7 is Sproles. And Sproles to the 26. We go to Michelle.
Well, as you mentioned, Al, Keenan Lewis is back on the sideline, sitting on the bench. He was evaluated for a head injury. He's back out here arguing, pleading his case with the athletic training staff to please let him back in the game. So far, they have not given him his helmet back, and that's usually a sign that they're not going to let him play. We'll see. He's still out here.
All right, thank you, Michelle. He's pleading his case, but again, it's the medical people that just take over at this point, so you can talk till he's blue in the face.
You could see the kind of pressure it places on doctors. I mean, they want him in there to play. It's hard to be the team doctors without saying, go in there and play. It's a very difficult situation for these docs on the sideline.
There goes Ingram to the outside, and Mark Ingram fighting his way for a gain of 4 up to the 29-yard line. He has been the workhorse for these guys tonight. Ingram has now carried the ball 15 times for 91 yards.
You know, and the pressure now shifts to Billy Davis, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He took a big chance in the game against the Cowboys, an all-out blitz, and gave up a touchdown to Dez Bryant late in that one. I talked to him about it. He said, hey, you cannot be afraid as a play caller. You have to be bold.
2nd and 6 to the outside. Goes the pass caught by Sproles, and that will be a 1st down for the Saints.
Well, you've got Michael Kendricks, who is trying to play on Darren Sproles. The Saints were very surprised that anybody, here he goes across the formation, would try to play Sproles one-on-one, and more tape they watched, they said, the Eagles don't care. They don't care who he is. They're going to play Kendricks and D'Amico Ryans one-on-one on any back coming out. I still think that for Drew Brees, that can be a factor coming down the stretch.
Brees in the pocket, deep downfield. That's caught by Robert Meacham to the 23-yard line. So Meacham has not been in the fray tonight in the action. It's Patrick Chung who makes the stop after a 40-yard pickup.
The biggest fear for Billy Davis in this one was that his safeties would not be able to hold up in pass defense, and it is being proven true at this point. If there's a weakness, it's the coverage ability of Patrick Chung and Nate Allen down the field, and now Drew Brees is starting to find it.
Meacham's first catch of the night. The two, he and Brees have had tremendous success through the years. Here's Kenny Stills, and that doesn't fool anybody. Tackled there for a gain of 1.
I tell you, this Connor Barwin is some football player. Not only does he fight off the block, but he basically just ends up setting the edge on the outside and forcing the speedster, Kenny Stills, to just backtrack, and at that point, there's nowhere to go. Lead blocker in front and Josh Hill, and somehow Connor Barwin still made the play.
Tyree Robinson is the running back. Collins in at fullback. Robinson. Nice shifty running there to the 17-yard line. Goes the rookie. Tackle there by Benny Logan.
And Michael Kendricks just missed on that one. That looked like it had signs of being about a 5-yard loss. There's Fletcher Cox down. He is right here, going to shoot the gap. Thought he was going to get there, and then it looks like Ben Grubbs got just enough of him.
Kind of cramped up with 8.5. So with the injury time out here, that means Cox has to come out for at least one play. And this is a big play here. Vinny Curry comes in. You got 3rd and 4. Philly needs to limit them to a field goal here. Clock's going to be ticking down. Try to keep it a 1-possession game, obviously.
I think this may well be 4-down territory at this point. We saw in the Kansas City game earlier today, a 6-point lead with the other team getting one more possession is a precarious position to be in. So it would not surprise me to see Sean Payton consider this 4-down territory and maybe even run it twice.
But if it's 4th and 4, I think you see a field goal.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, different story. We'll see. 3rd and 4. Sproles and Travaris Cadet.
Wow.
In the back. If you look at this formation, first time we've seen this set tonight. Breeze flushed away and incomplete. So they put the heat on. Moore turns around, wants a flag and gets none. So now it's 4th down and 4, and they'll kick the field goal.
They had a little pick play on. They had Cadet here. They're trying to set a pick here and swing him out. The Eagles smell it out. And let's give some credit. Patrick Chung, who got beat on the big play, atones for it there and makes a huge play. And now the Saints have to kick the field goal.
Formerly known as a pick, now known as a rub, right?
Yeah.
35-yard attempt for Shane Graham. And the kick is good. There's LaShawn McCoy. He's ready. Well, he has had some phenomenal fourth-quarter performances, not only this season, but throughout his career. Will he have one tonight? Here goes Brad Smith from the goal line. Will the fourth quarter be McCoy time? Career fourth quarter long touchdown runs. And there it is spelled out for you. He's had 8 of them. Touchdown runs of 25 or more yards. Most in the history of the league. And he's a guy who's always told us, I get stronger as the game goes along. And those numbers look like it right there too. 6 yards per carry he's averaged this season in the fourth quarter.
They're showing a little slot blitz. They've been faking it a lot. Malcolm Jenkins. And then falling back out. Looks like that way again.
Boy swinging to the left side. Up to the 28-yard line. Tackled there by Curtis Lofton.
Well, that time, sometimes when you come down and fake a blitz, you end up getting cracked on the play as they come down inside here. And fortunately for the Saints, nice play by Curtis Lofton to get around that mess.
2nd down, 5. They give it to Shady McCoy again. Swings to the outside, steps out of bounds, moves the chains. Broke away from Cameron Jordan. First down.
One of the unsung heroes on this football is Jason Avant. He does this all the time. Goes in short motion and then comes in and makes a great one-on-one block on Malcolm Jenkins on the outside. Just enough for McCoy to get the edge.
On the 36-yard line, and that is incomplete, intended for Jackson, covered by White. 2nd down.
Timing just off, but you have to understand now that Deshaun Jackson has them nervous. Give Corey White a chance, and there's Selleck going off on the sideline as well. But just settle down for Nick Foles. He has time to make that throw because they're giving Deshaun Jackson so much room now.
On 2nd and 10. Foles stepping up. This is Jackson. And Jackson seeking that first down stick, is very close to it. Turned it back upfield after he made the catch. And it is a first down. And there is Keenan Lewis, who's obviously been told he's not coming back into the game.
You come across and set another little rub, or whatever you want to call it, out right up the field.
Great. Screen roll. Bryce Brown is in as the back here. They fake it to him. The pass is caught by Cooper, and Cooper gets taken down by Sweeting, but he picks up 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2. Clock down to 6.5, and they still work on Selleck.
And it's starting to look like the Eagles offense again now. There are holes in this New Orleans Saints defense, and you just see it. We saw it during that one drive where they just kind of start to get the rhythm going, and now they're going to come up and press these wide receivers. They've seen enough of that.
2nd and 2 to McCoy, and enough for a first down on Pyle at the 42-yard line of the Saints. 6 minutes left.
You're not going to survive long on the outside, though, with Corey White and Deshaun Jackson one-on-one without getting a throw down there at some point.
Fake draw. Foles going deep downfield, and it's incomplete, but a flag comes in. Jackson trying to adjust back along with Corey White. And it will make it a 1st and goal off the pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
Corey White had to know it was coming. Great job by Deshaun Jackson. Little move, but here at the end, a veteran move. Come back through the defender, and you're going to get the call. Hands were pinned at his side. Easy call, no question about it, but Nick Foles deserves some credit as well. He looked off the safety to make it a true one-on-one situation down the middle of the field, looks left all the way. I guarantee you he knew where he was going with that ball the whole time.
40-yard penalty, 1st and goal. Foles, a little flip to McCoy. Dangerous play there, no gain. Foles maybe looking to run it in himself and then flips it back to McCoy. Well, 2nd and goal.
The good news is it would have been a forward pass, so if it had hit the ground, it would have been incomplete, but now it gets interesting. And boy, you'd love to run a little clock off here and score a touchdown, but first priority is getting this thing in. Zach Ertz, number 86, can be a major mismatch down the field on anybody. He's at the bottom of your screen.
Jackson moving. Fake to McCoy. Foles guns it. Caught. Touchdown. Zach Ertz.
Make them believe you're blocking and then come back out. Nick Foles looked to the outside but knew where he was coming the entire time. Backups in. Will Herring replacing Paris Harrelson. Too many holes in this defense now.
And now for the lead. Henry bangs it through. Here's Darren Sproles to run the kickback. Swinging to the outside, and a big run back for him, and 15. A horse collar tackle by Carey Williams. So that's going to take the ball out to about midfield for Breeze to start the next drive.
I'll tell you, there are bad penalties and good penalties, and with Darren Sproles bearing down on your kicker, that wasn't a bad one.
Foul. Horse collar tackle. Kicking team number 26. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. New Orleans keeps the ball. Automatic. First down.
But boy, you don't like to see this on the other side of the 50, and that's where we are now. That's a no-brainer call. Carey Williams knew exactly what he was doing. And so here you go. Drew Brees would like to erase all the conversation about how they can't win and the cold and the playoffs, and you have about 48 yards to prove it.
Nobody's talked about that this week. That's all the Saints have had to hear. The ball's at the 48, 39-yard return, 15-yard penalty, and they start on the ground, going nowhere, losing one, in fact, is Ingram. Kendricks and Graham in on the tackle. It'll be second down, second and 11.
I'll tell you that Michael Kendricks comes flashing through there so fast that you end up uncomfortable as a running back. He just shoots the gap in here, and it just clogs up the hole, and then by the time he bounces around, Brandon Graham's there to make the play.
Second and 11. Through the middle. Look at that running by Robinson. Tyree Robinson, rookie free agent, won a job in preseason. Gain of 13.
Now this time Brian De La Fuente right here. Going to get that one done. And Grubbs on the other side. So if you can milk the whole clock and kick a field goal, that's great. Otherwise, you better score a touchdown the way these offenses are starting to go up and down the field.
Ball at the 36-yard line. 3.5. Left in the fourth. Ingram swinging away to the outside. Tackle there by Ryan, stays in bounds. In a perfect world for New Orleans, what you do is you run the clock all the way down, and then you kick the field goal.
Yeah, but you've got Shane Graham, who's been perfect so far as a Saint. You certainly want to be closer than 50 yards out.
Oh, yes, you do.
For that attempt, and you do not want to leave any time left. Your defense is hurting at this point.
Sproles is the back. Second and 7. And that will be caught, but stopped short of a first down is Colston. So now you have a huge 3rd and 1 coming up on so many levels here, because if they convert, then you really go to work on the clock. You make Philadelphia use its timeouts, and they've already used one right here.
Well, that was the power of Darren Sproles right there. When he flashed wide, it left a huge gap in behind. I think that was Connor Barwin out there. You'll see him have to come up and play Sproles, and as he does, it uncovers Colston down the field.
Now, each team was forced to use a timeout earlier in the half, so they have one due the Eagles, and Kelly, figuring that New Orleans was going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning, he takes it on this side, but now you've got a gigantic 3rd and 1 here.
You know, and it's really interesting, if you don't convert at this point, are you really willing to put your defense back up there protecting a 2-point lead?
The rookie Robinson is the running back. And Breeze is going to keep it himself and keeps those legs churning and gets the first down. He takes it to the 23-yard line.
It was going to be close until Jed Collins came in, and not often you want to hit your own quarterback, but he gave him a pretty good shot there. He's just going to push him right up in the hole here. Rugby scrum.
So Philadelphia took that timeout, but now they're down to 1. Now you're down to the 2-minute warning. Now you're down to a first down. And for the Saints, they can take the clock most of the way down without a first down and then hope to kick a game-winning field goal. We'll see. 2 minutes to go in the wild card game in Philadelphia. So you have 2 minutes to go. The Saints really have the Eagles pinned in a box here if they can make the field goal, because they won't have to attempt it until there are about 20 or 25 seconds left, because Philly has one timeout And then you can run a second down play, a third down play, milk the 40-second clock all the way down, and then hope that Graham can make it. See what happens as we start from the 25-yard line on first down. Give the ball. It's a 5-yard gain to Kyrie Robinson. And Philadelphia now takes its final timeout. Again, New Orleans would go to Seattle if they win this game and face the #1 seeded Seahawks. Philadelphia, if they win, they go to Carolina. Of course, whoever goes wherever means that San Francisco and Green Bay, the winner goes to the other city.
You know, this is all going to come down now to Shane Graham, who's playing for his 9th team, replaced Garrett Hartley after week 15. Shane Graham has had some big misses in the playoffs. I remember in Cincinnati, one in particular. So he's been perfect so far for the New Orleans Saints, but it is going to ride on his back unless they can pick up a first down here to make it even closer.
2nd and 6. And this is going to be Kyrie Robinson taking it very close to a first down. Take a look. The officials checking over the sideline, and Vinovich is going to bring the chains in. So that stops the clock, but only momentarily. They'll rewind it after they measure here. And clearly right now in extremely makeable field goal range. Here's Robinson again.
Up top here, the key block, Ben Watson working on Connor Barwin. And I tell you, I can't get over Sean Payton. I'll never get over the fact he did the onside kick in the Super Bowl. That was the greatest risk I've ever seen to get rewarded like that, and probably won him a football game. But even little things, Kyrie Robinson, a rookie, you put him in here in this moment and hand him the football.
A couple of links short of the first down. So they're going to wind the clock when they get the chains back on the sideline. That's going to take us down to about 107, 108 before they have to snap it again. Graham is a guy who's been around so long. He actually was signed by the Saints as an undrafted free agent back in 2000. And since then, he's been around the world.
We have seen nothing but quarterback sneaks so far in this situation. Drew Brees, I've got to believe Jed Collins is going to be in the game, and they're going to do the old plow play one more time.
So the Saints milking it down. 3rd and inches. Again, Robinson is the back. Brees is going to do it himself again, and that's going to be a first down. So now you're taking it down to the point where do you want to leave yourself an opportunity and not go down to like 4 seconds, but take it down to maybe 10 in case you have a bad snap, just in case you'll have a second chance at it. But that's the only decision to be made right now by the Saints at this point.
You know, we've seen so many crazy plays. Think back to the Pittsburgh play and that crazy, you know, toss around kind of thing that almost won them the game. Ordinarily I would say yes, and maybe because you do have a kicker that's inexperienced on your football team, you may want to do that in this situation.
And they can take a timeout here. The Saints do with 29 seconds. So it's first down.
Second charge timeout.
Can run a play to exactly where Graham wants it.
30-second timeout.
In terms of the hash marks, barely matters at this point. You're looking at an attempt at, of about 32 yards. Brees in the first half, not much doing. 2 picks, one of which led to a touchdown for the Eagles. Came very much alive in the second half, as did their running game. Keenan Lewis was a big loss when he went out in the 3rd quarter. Bulls went to work on that soft spot. Ertz with a touchdown there that put Philadelphia in the lead. But right now, Philadelphia has watched the Saints control the ball for 4.5 minutes. And now they run one play before they send Graham into the game.
Most kickers prefer it to be on the left hash if they're right-footed. We'll see if they run a play that way to set it up.
And he does start to move it in that direction. Now, do you want to leave yourself time for a botched snap is the only question. Saints have another timeout left. And so Graham, who started that long odyssey with the Saints in 2000 and then went to Seattle and Buffalo and Carolina Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Giants, New England, Washington, I mean, Dallas, Miami, the Ravens again, Houston, Cleveland, you name it, he's been there.
And now you're to that situation. This is an unusual play. I've learned some of these rules the hard way. You cannot spike the football. If you should bobble this, you can't take it and throw it right down in the ground. You would have to have a receiver sort of turn around and throw it at his feet. Could they get that off in time? My guess is no with just 3 seconds.
McCown's the holder. If ever the Eagles have a punt or a field goal block play, this is it. Saints started this drive with 4:54 left on the clock. They're going to take it right down to the end, and the ball game's going to come down to this. Justin Drescher to snap it, McCown to hold it, and Graham to try to send them to Seattle from 32. Right down Broad Street. And the crowd dead silent as the New Orleans Saints told all week, oh my God, it's going to be below freezing. Might snow. No chance. Come into Philadelphia and win the game 26-24.
They switched Gatorade and it worked.
Sweatsuits, the whole thing.
This is clutch. I mean, to come into a team in week 15 and have to make this kick to end the curse of all these road losses in the playoffs. And let's give them credit. Drew Brees, when it mattered most, got it done. And for Shane Graham, boy, is that a good feeling.
Saints, Seahawks next weekend. Saints win on the road. It's their first road playoff win in the history of the franchise.